Welcome to today's episode, and I've got Safiya Allaf with me, and Saf is a copywriter. And would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Emma. So, as you know, I'm a copywriter in sustainable and circular fashion. I've been doing it for about 2 years now by myself, but my background is marketing, PR, copywriting, all of that good stuff. Websites, newsletters, email marketing, a lot of social media copy as well that I do. I've done some impact reports as well, which are really nice, big, meaty bit of work to like get your teeth into.
So what's impact reports? What's that?
So impact report is basically reporting on the impact that a certain campaign or a certain initiative or something has achieved.
Okay.
So
Is that looking at like analytics and how well it's performed, or am I overthinking that?
A little bit, yeah. So one of the ones I recently did just before Christmas was for Sustainable Fashion Week. Have you heard of Sustainable Fashion Week?
I have, well, only because I've connected with you and I look at a lot of your LinkedIn posts. But before that, I probably was quite unaware of it. I've heard of like obviously Fashion Week,
Yeah,
but the Sustainable Fashion Week, that's obviously all about. You tell me.
well, yeah. So it's like an alternative really to the regular fashion weeks that are going on at the moment. So Sustainable Fashion Week was kind of like an antithesis to that, and thinking about how can we do fashion differently and make it way more inclusive, more about like celebrating the clothes that you already have, mending them, swapping them, using recycled materials, using innovative materials, that kind of thing. So it's founded by just two people, and then I came on board to help them as a freelance copywriter just before Christmas, so during Sustainable Fashion Week 2024, which runs in like September, October time. And it's amazing, really. They have worked with loads of like hubs across the UK and even a couple abroad. And they, during that week, put on loads of events to kind of celebrate sustainable fashion. So that can be things like catwalks, mending circles, upcycling projects, things like that, where just the whole community can get involved.
Yeah, I mean, that's so much more than just copywriting, is that it's looking at, the bigger picture, isn't it? What is going on when, we buy these clothes and we just throw them away, where do they go? Or we chuck them in the charity shops, or we just, you see the people that bag stuff up and plonk them outside the charity shops. What's happening? They think, oh, it's okay, but what really is going on there? Are they getting resold?
And the sad truth is the majority of things that are dropped off at a charity shop don't end up finding a new home. Which is why I'm a big advocate for like using what you have, and like just trying to think of like charity shops as not a place to just take your holy pajamas and things. Like, you want things that are actually going to be resold. But the trouble is charity shops are just getting worse and worse quality clothing because of the likes of Shein and these Temu hauls that you mentioned.
They just don't last, do they? They haven't, wear them a few times, wash them a few times, and as you said, they're falling apart. The quality's not there. So the quality, so the best way to get quality, the more expensive stuff, is to buy pre-loved, isn't it? Because it lasts. The vintage stuff, it lasts.
Exactly. I think this is a nice little vintage number.
So you're wearing like a really cool sort of retro-y blouse. And that's fab. Yeah, that's.
I picked this up from my swap that I host because my friend brought it, and I was like, oh, I really like it.
You're gonna have that. So tell us about these swaps then that you host.
Yeah. So thank you for coming to them as well.
Yeah, I come along. Yeah, in Maidenhead, where we're based. Yeah.
So they are every other month, last Saturday every other month, and you can bring your up to 10 items of clothing to swap, to donate, and I ask that they be in good condition. Try and avoid the Shein stuff. I have had a couple that is good quality, so I'm okay with that. No like holy pajamas or like sweaty smelly gym stuff.
Nobody wants that.
No. So it's really, the way I see it is like, would you give this to a friend? Would you be happy to receive it? Those are the kind of items to bring. And so far everybody's bought really, really lovely stuff, like this shirt that I'm wearing. So you bring up to 10 items. I will then give you tokens based on the quality, or like the original RRP, whether it's brand new with tags, etc. So that's bronze, silver, and gold. So bronze is like your high street kind of brands like H&M, Zara, that kind of stuff. Silver is like a little bit more upmarket high street, and then gold is like designer, vintage, or anything that's brand new with tags, which we had quite a few actually. Sustainability really is my passion, and it's something that I know how to talk about and I can write about really well. So I primarily focus on sustainable and circular fashion brands and businesses, but that is quite, sounds niche, but it's actually quite broad, because I work from everything from like organizations like Sustainable Fashion Week to brands with physical products, or brands that are businesses that are selling like B2B software, or like
interesting
platforms to help sustainable brands for like traceability.
So it's not just the physical stuff then, is it? It's a real wide topic actually, isn't it, once you start sort of researching and looking into it. And
because everyone thinks that like, oh, sustainable fashion, oh, that just means that you wear like organic cotton or like hemp clothing and you're like a hippie with no shoes on, which is great. That is fun to do in the summer, but there's so much more like really technical stuff that goes into it, like textile to textile recycling is like a huge thing. Very complicated, and there's businesses that need the marketing and they need copywriting because they need someone that can translate that complicated stuff into like layman's terms for the likes of me and you to understand. Because the more people that we can get on board with sustainable fashion and actually understanding it for what it is and understanding what solutions are out there, the more we'll have people on board.
Absolutely.